Joseph Stalin, a name synonymous with tyranny, rose from humble origins in Georgia to become one of the most influential and feared leaders of the 20th century. His ascent to power, marked by political cunning and ruthless ambition, transformed the Soviet Union and left an indelible mark on world history. Stalin's leadership, which spanned from the mid-1920s to his death in 1953, marked a pivotal and tumultuous era in Soviet history. Under his rule, the Soviet Union underwent profound transformations, both in terms of industrialization and societal change. However, it also witnessed mass purges, forced collectivization, and widespread suffering. Early life and political beginnings. Stalin's early adulthood was marked by a growing passion for Marxist theory and revolutionary zeal. He joined various underground groups and became involved in radical political activities. His commitment to the revolutionary cause led him to adopt the alias Stalin, meaning man of steel. During this period, Stalin affiliated himself with factions of the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party, notably the Bolsheviks led by Vladimir Lenin. His strategic skills and unwavering dedication to the cause made him a rising star within the revolutionary circles. Stalin's political career reached a turning point with the outbreak of the Russian Revolution in 1917. He played a vital role in organizing the Bolshevik faction in Petrograd, now St. Petersburg, and was a key figure during the October Revolution, which ultimately led to the Bolsheviks seizing power. The consolidation of power, having emerged as a prominent figure within the Bolshevik Party, Joseph Stalin embarked on a relentless climb within the Soviet leadership hierarchy. His strategic acumen and control over key party positions helped him consolidate power. By 1922, Stalin had been appointed General Secretary of the Communist Party, a seemingly less influential role, but one that would prove pivotal in his rise. In this capacity, Stalin gained control over party appointments and patronage networks, solidifying his influence behind the scenes. This allowed him to build a loyal following and sway key decisions within the party. One of the defining features of Stalin's rise to power was his ruthless elimination of political rivals. Perhaps the most notable of these rivals was Leon Trotsky, a charismatic and influential figure within the Bolshevik leadership. Stalin systematically undermined Trotsky's position, accusing him of ideological deviations and orchestrating his expulsion from the party in 1927. As the Soviet Union was being forged from the wreckage of the Russian Empire, Joseph Stalin played a critical role in shaping its early structure. He advocated for a centralized, one-party state, a vision that would become the blueprint for the USSR's political system. In 1922, he presided over the establishment of the Soviet Union, consolidating the various Soviet republics into a single entity. Stalin's role in creating the Soviet Union set the stage for his future dominance over this vast and diverse nation. His consolidation of power continued, marking the beginning of a tumultuous era in Soviet history, characterized by authoritarian rule and radical transformations. The Great Purge. The Great Purge, also known as the Great Terror, represents one of the darkest chapters in Joseph Stalin's rule. This campaign of political repression, which unfolded in the late 1930s, had its roots in Stalin's paranoia and desire to eliminate perceived threats to his leadership. The objectives of the Great Purge were multifaceted. 1. Consolidation of power. Stalin aimed to remove potential rivals within the Communist Party and the military, ensuring his unchallenged control. 2. Suppression of dissent. The regime sought to suppress any form of ideological or political dissent, instilling fear and loyalty among the population. 3. Transformation of society. The purge targeted not only high-ranking officials but also ordinary citizens, intellectuals, and various societal groups, as Stalin sought to reshape Soviet society in his image. The methods employed during the Great Purge were ruthlessly efficient and often brutal. 1. Show trials. Accused individuals were subjected to highly publicized show trials, where they were coerced into confessing to fabricated crimes. These confessions were often extracted through torture or threats to family members. 2. Secret police. The NKVD, People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs, played a central role in carrying out the purges. They arrested, interrogated, and executed thousands of individuals deemed enemies of the state. 3. Mass arrests. People from all walks of life were rounded up and arrested without due process, often on the flimsiest of pretexts, such as suspicions of being counter-revolutionaries. 4. Execution and imprisonment. Many of those arrested were executed, while others were sent to forced labor camps, where they endured inhumane conditions and often perished. The Great Purge remains a tragic and horrifying chapter in the history of the Soviet Union, illustrating the extent to which Stalin was willing to go to maintain his grip on power and reshape the nation according to his vision. Personality cult and propaganda. Stalin's regime was characterized by the relentless promotion of his personality cult. Stalin was portrayed as a near-mythical figure, a wise and infallible leader, through an orchestrated campaign that saturated all aspects of Soviet life. His image adorned posters, statues, and buildings across the nation. This cult elevated Stalin to a godlike status, where his every word and action were glorified and revered. Propaganda played a central role in shaping public perception during Stalin's rule. The state-controlled media, including newspapers, radio, and film, disseminated propaganda that extolled Stalin's leadership, his achievements, and the superiority of the Soviet system. It was a tool to control the narrative and suppress dissent, portraying any criticism as treacherous. The long-lasting impact of Stalin's personality cult is still felt in the collective memory of the Soviet Union and its successor states. Even after Stalin's death, his image remained embedded in the national consciousness. The cult's effects on Soviet society included a culture of fear, conformity, and the suppression of individual expression. Its legacy would continue to influence Soviet and post-Soviet politics, culture, and public life for decades. Post-Stalin era and legacy. Joseph Stalin's death in 1953 triggered a power struggle within the Soviet leadership. After his passing, a series of leaders, including Nikita Khrushchev and Leonid Brezhnev, vied for control. This period saw a shift away from some of Stalin's policies, such as the denunciation of the cult of personality in the secret speech by Khrushchev in 1956. It marked a time of partial de-Stalinization within the Soviet Union. Stalin's legacy is a subject of ongoing debate and evaluation. Within the Soviet Union, his rule left a complex and controversial legacy. While some still view him as a strong leader who modernized the country and defeated Nazi Germany, others emphasize the immense human suffering, repression, and death toll associated with his rule. Internationally, Stalin's actions and policies, such as the purges and forced collectivization, have been widely condemned as crimes against humanity. His impact on the Cold War, the spread of communism, and the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century cannot be underestimated.